My sister's big day is just around the corner. She's tying the knot on Thursday, the 23rd. Instead of going all out with a grand celebration, she and her soon-to-be husband are keeping things simple. They're planning to make their union official at the registry office and then celebrate over dinner. Picking a Thursday was no coincidence. It's their day off. Given their hospital jobs, weekends off are a rarity. The guest list is quite intimate, just me, our folks, my brother, and her fiance's dad, all set to join them for the paperwork and the dinner. Despite their next day work commitments, we're all buzzing with excitement for them. Now, onto a bit of a hiccup. My brother's battle with time blindness is real and tough. Despite his best efforts with alarms, reminders, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder meds, time management remains a Herculean task for him, impacting his work and personal life significantly. It's gotten to the point where he's currently jobless, having missed flights, games, and more. Here's where things get tricky. The registry office and the restaurant for the dinner are strict about bookings, no walk-ins. Knowing my brother's challenges, my folks suggested a change of venue to a registry office that's more flexible and surrounded by restaurants not requiring reservations. They thought it would be a seamless solution to avoid any potential mishaps with my brother's timing. However, my sister's reaction was unexpected and intense. She was adamant that my brother's condition wouldn't dictate their plans. She was clear if he's late, they'll proceed without him. This stance left me and my parents baffled. I saw the merit in their suggestion, thinking it could ensure the day goes smoothly without sidelining my brother. Am I off base here? I believed it was a practical compromise, aiming to keep the day special without the risk of my brother's timing issues causing any snags. It sparks a broader question. How often should the family's plans pivot around accommodating my brother's unique challenges? The situation has me wondering where the balance lies between support and enabling, and if setting this precedent is fair or if it's asking too much for such an important occasion. My sister's wedding plans are quite the topic of conversation. She's decided on a cozy, low-key celebration, just signing the papers at the registry office and then heading out for dinner. A Thursday suits them perfectly, given their unpredictable hospital schedules. It's going to be a small gathering, just the immediate family. Everyone's pretty excited, but there's a slight wrinkle: my brother's struggle with time management due to his attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Despite every effort, from setting multiple alarms to medication, time just slips away from him. It's been a real challenge, affecting both his professional and personal life to the point where he's currently between jobs. Given this, the family's concerned about the strict timing for the wedding day given the registry office and restaurant bookings. So, my parents floated an idea. They suggested switching to a registry office that's more accommodating of walk-ins and choosing a nearby restaurant that doesn't require reservations. Their thought process was simple. It would minimize the risk of my brother causing any delays on such an important day. However, this suggestion didn't sit well with my sister. She felt strongly that the day shouldn't be adjusted for one person's challenges. If my brother couldn't make it on time, they'd proceed without him. This response left us a bit stunned. We thought it was a sensible compromise, ensuring the day went smoothly without sidelining anyone. But it got me thinking. Is it fair to expect everyone to adapt their plans for one person's issues? This isn't just about a wedding. It's about how much we adjust our lives to accommodate someone else's needs. It raises a question about the balance between supporting a loved one and enabling them, and where we draw the line, especially on such significant occasions. On a different note, as a parent, I try to maintain a balance between giving my son space and being involved in his life. We share a typical mother-son relationship, even if I'm not hovering over every detail of his social life. Recently, my stepdaughter shared some concerning photos of my son engaging in risky behaviors. It's a reminder of the challenges of parenting, especially in blended families where dynamics are complex, and everyone is navigating their own path to coexistence. Navigating family dynamics, especially in a blended family, is no walk in the park. Recently, a bit of a situation unfolded that really put this to the test. My stepdaughter decided to send me a series of photos of my son, photos that seemed to have been plucked from his private social media, showcasing him at parties, engaging in typical teenage antics with friends of all genders. I immediately addressed it with her, emphasizing that her actions were out of line. She apologized, claiming she thought I ought to know. My stance was clear. Unless it's a matter of safety or harm, my son's private life is his own, especially given he's 18. The plot thickened when my husband stumbled upon the same photos, forwarded to him by our stepdaughter with a nudge, implying disapproval of my laissez-faire attitude. My husband, caught off guard, sided with privacy, sparking an eye-roll emoji storm from her end. Later, when my son returned home, I felt compelled to inform him about the photo-sharing saga. Understandably, he was mortified and retreated, his frustration audible even behind closed doors. The situation escalated when my stepdaughter confronted me, accusing me of betrayal for snitching. She couldn't see that her invasion of privacy was the real issue at hand. Her actions had ripple effects, damaging her social circle and straining sibling dynamics, yet she insisted her motives were pure. My husband thought maybe we should have handled the revelation to my son with more tact, but the damage was done. Amidst this, my son's embarrassment has put a wedge between us despite my efforts to bridge the gap. As for my stepdaughter, her intentions, misguided or not, have sparked a necessary conversation about boundaries, privacy, and respect within our family. It's a messy lesson in the complexities of parenting and step-parenting, reminding us that the road to understanding and harmony is often paved with unexpected challenges. I've got a daughter, Rose, who's just on the cusp of her tween years. Rose tends to get ear infections pretty often. Just recently, she had a nasty double ear infection and had to miss school on Friday due to a low-grade fever. With work on my plate and no babysitter on hand, my sister-in-law stepped in to watch her. Everything seemed fine until I picked Rose up. That's when my sister-in-law dropped a bombshell on me. She'd put breast milk in Rose's ears, claiming it would cure the ear infection. She was even ready to pack some of this home remedy for us. I was floored she'd do something like this without my say-so, and we had a major fallout over it. Now, Rose is bummed out because she can't hang out at her aunt's place anymore. My brother's been on the phone, saying his wife was only trying to lend a hand and that I blew things out of proportion. But we're talking about someone's bodily fluids here, used on my kid without my permission. It feels like I'm the odd one out for being upset. On the flip side, some say I might be overreacting. Sure, my sister-in-law should have asked first. And yes, while breast milk is technically a bodily fluid, it's not exactly in the same league as, say, urine. I've even heard that some pediatricians suggest using breast milk for various infant issues, from ear infections to eczema. But not asking me first? That's a hard pass. And to think of cutting them off over this does seem a bit much to some. After all, there wasn't any ill will behind it. Then there's the online debate. Quick searches pull up plenty of arguments against using breast milk for ear or eye infections, highlighting potential risks over benefits. It seems like there's a big divide between personal anecdotes and scientific advice on this one. This all takes me back to my own childhood. I lost my mom in a car accident when I was just 11. She was everything to me, from baking cookies when we were sick to those unforgettable road trips. Losing her was a blow I'm still trying to navigate, even years later. After she passed, my dad started seeing Nicole, and eventually, they decided to tie the knot. Nicole is quite the free spirit, bringing adventure and excitement into my dad's life again. But as they dove into their new life together, I felt like my sister and I started fading into the background. Our weekly hikes became a thing of the past. Phone calls turned sporadic, and he even forgot my mom's birthday one year. It's been a tough adjustment, feeling like I'm losing another parent to someone else's version of happiness. My dad, he just seemed to vanish from our lives. This one time, my sister took a nasty tumble down the stairs, ending up with a deep cut on her forehead that clearly needed stitches. I immediately called my dad, but Nicole picked up. I asked her to pass the phone to him, but she said he was busy and hung up before I could say anything else. Feeling a mix of frustration and embarrassment, I had no choice but to ask our neighbor to drive us to urgent care, where my dad finally showed up. Nicole even went as far as to take down a photo of my mom from the fireplace mantel to replace it with one of her and my dad from their trip to Washington. But what really got to me was when she made my dad forget my mom's birthday. Every year, my sister and I would accompany our dad to visit my mom's grave on her birthday, a tradition that held even before Nicole came into the picture. This year, Nicole and my dad planned a trip to Florida, supposed to return 3 days before my mom's birthday. However, Nicole gets motion sickness, so my dad decided to take breaks during the drive to accommodate her, resulting in them missing the annual visit to my mom's grave. He didn't even bother to call us. Not even a week after this, my dad excitedly announces that Nicole is pregnant. I lost it and confronted my dad, asking if it was necessary to get her pregnant when he's barely present for us. I then turned to Nicole, calling her out and demanding she leave our lives. My dad was furious, sending me to my room. Shortly after, my grandpa came to pick me up. My dad didn't say a word as I left, not even a glance my way. It's been 2 days now at my grandparents' place. While I regret my harsh words, I can't help but feel they were justified. Nicole showed her true colors when she disregarded my sister's accident, and my dad did the same in many ways. I'm leaning on my grandparents now, feeling validated yet conflicted about my outburst. Was I the idiot in this situation? Not at all. Nicole's actions, especially during my sister's injury, revealed much about her character, and my dad's subsequent actions only added fuel to the fire. I'm turning to my grandparents for support, hoping to safeguard my mom's legacy and seeking counsel to navigate these troubled waters. My bond with my sister and grandparents has become my sanctuary amidst the chaos. So, she explained that the tattoo wasn't about me at all but actually for someone else with the same name, just a quirky coincidence. Peering closer, I could see the ink was aged and faded, making it clear this wasn't a fresh tattoo. Naturally, my curiosity spiked. I prodded further. Is it someone in your family? But she clammed up, offering no details, signaling she wasn't keen on sharing the backstory. This mystery person behind the tattoo became an itch I couldn't stop scratching. I kept digging. A friend? An ex, maybe? Until she hit her limit and shut me down, saying it was none of my business. Here I am, wondering, was I being a bit too nosy for pushing so hard on who this person was? Especially considering this is her only tattoo, which just adds layers to its significance. Turns out, I might have stepped over the line, thinking the tattoo had something to do with me right off the bat. When someone tells you to back off, you really should just listen. She's under no obligation to spill her past to me, and the tattoo clearly isn't about me, so maybe it's time to drop it. But, we've only been seeing each other for a short while, not even officially calling it a relationship. I get the advice though, if we do keep seeing each other, a time might come when a bit more sharing wouldn't hurt. Still, if she's not ready to open up, I've got to respect that. If her silence on the matter is a deal breaker for me, then maybe it's time to rethink where this is heading. It's pretty evident I might have missed the mark on understanding boundaries and picking up on cues. She's 24, with a tattoo that speaks to a slice of her life she's not flaunting. Could be an ex from her more impulsive days, or perhaps it's tied to a deeper, more personal story she's not ready to relive. Whatever the case, I've got to learn to respect her space and privacy.